Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins on a secluded island, where a large number of wealthy people are dining, at an unusual but private restaurant. When the world's wealthiest people get bored with their money, they travel to this restaurant, to bring joy back into their life. The chef tells everyone how he killed his father, with scissors to the throat, and then displays a meal that depicts the incident. The guests have no idea that their dinner experience will be different from what they imagined. Following that, the movie jumps to a few hours ago. Tyler, a wealthy young man, is surprising his girlfriend Margot with a dinner date. The young couple is heading to Hawthorne, a luxury restaurant owned and operated by star chef Julian Slowik, and located in the middle of a private island. A cuisine critic and her editor, a movie star and his personal assistant, and 3 wealthy business partners join the couple on a boat to the island. Richard and Anne, another wealthy couple, join the group, and it appears that Margot and Richard know each other from somewhere. Soon, the guests arrive at their destination, and are greeted by the island's head waitress, Elsa. She takes the visitors on a tour of the island, before leading them to the restaurant. The guests are also taken to the restaurant staff's housing quarters. Elsa claims that the crew is like family, and that they begin their day at 6 a.m. and end at 2 a.m. Finally, the diners enter the restaurant, and take their seats. A number of cooks can be seen methodically putting the supper together, in the open kitchen, paying close attention to details. Before leaving, Elsa warns the guests not to photograph the dishes, because Chef Slowik believes the beauty of his creations lies in their fleeting nature. She informs Chef Slowik about Tyler's uninvited guest, Margot, who appears in the kitchen. Tyler had ordered 2 tables at the restaurant a year ago, although he was in a relationship with someone else at the time. This implies that Margot is technically not authorized to be here. Slowik is plainly annoyed, but he resolves to ignore it. Meanwhile, the dinner will be a 6-course feast, and the first course has been served. Tyler sneaks a piece of the delicacy as the visitors begin to eat. Everyone admires the food, except for Margot. The second course is subsequently served, and Chef Slowik addresses his guests for the final time. He encourages everyone to taste, savor and feel, rather than eat. He then tells the guests about the food and what it represents. Margot cannot understand the chef's discourse, but it moves Tyler to tears. Despite his fear of enraging the cook, he continues to take photographs. Next, the chef serves extremely small quantities of 5 different sauces to the visitors. He does not give them bread, however, because he considers it to be peasant fare. The business people find the whole thing ludicrous, and demand bread. When Elsa politely declines, the group threatens to close the restaurant, because they know the man who sponsored it. Elsa still refuses to give them bread, and tells them that they will eat the food that is being provided to them. Margot despises the concept, and refuses to eat. This catches the chef's notice, and he asks whether everything is well. She tells him flatly that there isn't much to eat. Following the embarrassing interaction, the chef walks up to an older woman eating alone. She reveals herself to be his mother. Meanwhile, Margot is obsessed with Richard, the affluent man. This makes his wife, Anna, suspicious, but he dismisses her concerns quickly. After some time, the chef announces the next course, memory. He recalls the night his father came home drunk, and fought with his mother. Things gradually deteriorated, and the father strangled her with a telephone cord. However, a young Slowik intervened in the nick of time, slashing his father in the thigh with scissors. The narrative disturbs the visitors, but they disregard it, figuring it as a fabrication. They're soon accompanied by house-smoked beef and tacos. Surprisingly, each taco has an image printed on it, evoking powerful memories in the diners. The food critic's tacos include photographs of the eateries she reviewed, but the movie actor's tacos include a picture of his worst flop. Similarly, the businessmen's tacos contain information about their illegal bank accounts. They immediately phone Elsa, and want to know how the restaurant discovered this data, threatening to close the establishment. Elsa refuses to reveal anything and goes away. Meanwhile, Richard and a mysterious young woman are depicted on Anna's tacos. She demands an explanation, but Richard insists he has no idea what the images signify. Tyler's taco includes a photo of him earlier, secretly photographing Slowik's food. He panics and considers going to apologize to Slowik. Margot is furious that the chef would do such a thing, and insists on returning the food to the kitchen. Tyler asks her to stop, reminding her that he is the one who is paying for dinner. This annoys her, who walks away. The chef enters the restroom, and inquires about her identity. She identifies herself as Margot, but Slowik insists she shouldn't be here tonight. She eventually returns to her seat, and Chef Slowik introduces the sous chef Jeremy, who has presumably developed the following dish. He compliments him briefly, before abruptly changing his tone and speaking aggressively. According to Slowick, Jeremy will never be a great chef, because he merely wants to be an understudy. Jeremy then commits the unimaginable, and kills himself. Everyone is stunned and appalled, but Slowick assures them that it is all part of the show. They return to their tables after a while, but Richard refuses to leave. Elsa continually asks him to return to his seat, but he refuses. As a result, much to everyone's surprise, the restaurant staff grabs him, and chops off his ring finger. The guests are then warned that if they even think of running away and destroying the chef's beautifully arranged dinner, they will suffer far harsher penalties. Everyone begins to fear at this point, but Tyler remains unfazed, and continues to enjoy his food. Slowick summons Margot to the kitchen shortly after, and he asks her again who she is. He encourages her to come clean, since he has meticulously prepared this dinner, and her unexpected appearance is ruining everything. He also informs her that all of them will perish tonight. He gives her 15 minutes to choose, between dying with those who give and those who take. She returns to her table in tears, shocked and terrified. Slowick enables his captive guests to ask him questions prior to the following course, and one man asks why. Slowick admits that he is fed up with running his restaurant for a variety of reasons. He has lost his zeal for his craft, and every person here tonight is to blame in some manner. The food critic is invited to the meal, since her negative evaluations have forced several businesses to close, while her editor has enabled her behavior. Meanwhile, Richard and Anne are regulars at the restaurant, but they never seem to enjoy the meal. Slowick bets the pair can't name a single dish he's served them. He then informs everyone about the angel who helped fund the restaurant. He discloses that he has suspended the man above water outside. He claims that the man has an abnormal concern with profits, and has repeatedly disparaged the restaurant's food. Slowick then lowers the man into the water, drowning him as everyone looks on in terror. After 15 minutes, he summons Margot to his office, and requests that she make a decision. She insists she does not belong here, and that he should let her go. He classifies her with the employees, claiming that he can tell she is not from a wealthy family. He then inquires about her relationship with Richard, as she had been staring at him all night. Finally, she confesses that she is an escort, and that her real name is Erin. Richard is a former client who paid her well in the past. Slowick sympathizes with her, and admits that he has had his fair share of nasty customers. He claims that he used to like cooking, but that he no longer has that zeal. Chef asks Tyler why he is there, before bringing out the next meal. Surprisingly, the latter states that he had been longing to eat at this restaurant for months, and that when the opportunity arose, he seized it, despite being warned ahead of time that everyone would perish. Tyler also says that he hired Erin to join him, since he had reserved a table for two, and his reservation would have been cancelled if he didn't have company. Erin becomes upset, and strikes him, but the staff intervenes immediately, and calms her down. Slowick calls Erin into his office, and asks her to help him plan the last course, the dessert. He asks her to get a barrel from the smokehouse for the first assignment, which she does grudgingly. Meanwhile, the movie star demands to know why he is being punished. Slowick admits that he disliked the actor's film Calling Dr. Sunshine. He claims to have seen it years ago on a busy Sunday, but it utterly wrecked his mood. He says that his appearance in that film has tormented him ever since. Erin enters Slowick's cottage instead of the smokehouse, and discovers a closed door. She tries to enter, but Elsa appears and threatens her with a knife. Erin unintentionally kills Elsa during the struggle. She is shocked by what happened, but she soon gathers herself, and enters Slowick's room with Elsa's keys. Inside, she finds photographs and newspaper stories about Slowick, and the many awards he has collected over the years. Except for one photo from his adolescence, when he worked at a fast food restaurant, he appears gloomy and angry in all of them. He used to prepare burgers there, and had earned Employee of the Month. She notices a radio in the room, and uses it to notify the Coast Guard of everything. She then brings the barrel back to the restaurant. Slowick sits Erin down once more, and explains that a chef's job is to offer amazing food to clients, but people don't want just food, they want an experience. As a result, many chefs operate under pressure, rather than with love, and so the chef's art suffers. Before allowing him into the restaurant, Slowick tells everyone not to rat on him, and summons a Coast Guard. The police inform Slowick that he received a complaint about many deaths in this location, but the astute chef responds that everything is okay. Just then, the officer recognizes the actor, and requests his autograph. The latter gladly accepts, and takes advantage of the occasion to talk about Slowick. The officer pulls out his gun, and threatens to shoot the chef, after hearing everything. Finally, everyone exhales a sigh of relief, and tells the officer everything. Unfortunately, it is shown that the police are wielding a fake gun, which causes the entire restaurant staff to burst out laughing. Slowick discloses that the officer is one of his chefs, impersonating the Coast Guard. He also informs Aaron that he is aware that she attempted to call for assistance. He then serves the final meal, but Aaron immediately comes up with a plan. She expresses her desire to return his dinner, because she did not enjoy it. He gets irritated, and he demands to know what she didn't like about his dinner. She answers that he has taken the fun out of dining, and that everything he has served has been more of an academic exercise than something to sit and enjoy. She claims that the dish does not taste homemade. Finally, she comments that he has not only failed, but also bored her, and she is still hungry. The insane chef's ego is bruised, and he asks her what she wants to eat. She takes advantage of the situation to order a standard American cheeseburger with fries. Slowick, enraged, rushes into the kitchen, and begins cooking. He is reminded of his younger days, when he was much happier and jollier, as he is doing it. The burger is done after a while, and he serves it to Aaron. Surprisingly, she enjoys it and even compliments his cooking. This has made him the most content he has been in decades. She then tells him that he has served her more food than she can eat, and asks him if she can get the rest of the burger to go. Slowick muses briefly, before agreeing to portion out the rest of her meal. Aaron is relieved internally, and she pays for the food. On her way out, she briefly pauses to consider leaving the other guests to die, but Anna pushes her to go, and save herself. Slowick thanks everyone for dinner with him, and says that each of them represents the annihilation of his art and life. They are now a part of it. A component of what he believes will be a masterpiece. Slowick and his team of chefs then construct the final dish, incorporating each of the guests, all of whom have finally accepted their fate. He sets everyone on fire, including himself. Meanwhile, Aaron escapes the island on a boat, as Hawthorne burns to the ground. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.